Greetings and welcome. This is Rajiv Makhni on the Cell Guru Show. And once again, what a show we have for you. We'll start off with our big review, the Vivo T1x. Budget phone from Vivo, big on design, battery life and performance, and priced at just 11,999. But can it take on the super tough competition in this segment? The under 15,000 segment is absolutely on fire. We'll tell you how Vivo fares. Then our much awaited super famous Qualcomm segment. We'll introduce you to Prashanth Swaminathan. He's a smartphone photographer, and he believes that smartphones can now compare with big cameras when it comes to high-end shoots. Don't believe me? Well, you've got to see this segment. And then we'll move on to the Oppo Enco X2 power pack sound profile for these TWS earbuds, active noise cancellation, dual device pairing that works very, very well, IP54 rating. But the big question again, at this price, are they the best in its class? And let's start off, let's roll the show. The Vivo T1x is our big review. A budget mid-range segment phone, has the Snapdragon 680, absolutely fantastic screen, 6.58-inch full HD panel, 90 Hz refresh rate, a really nice 50 megapixel dual rear camera, 5000 mAh battery, 18-watt charger, and it's priced at about 12,000 rupees. You can get the high-end version for around 15,000. But can it take on the Xiaomi's and the Realme's and the others who really dominate the under 15,000 price segment?
Hot on the heels of its flagship phone, Vivo is introducing a new entrant into the mid-range segment. Designed for an online-only audience, the Vivo T1x is taking on phones like the Redmi Note 10 Pro. But can a spiffy design be all it takes to stand out in the segment? We find out in the Vivo T1x review. The Vivo T1x doesn't move the needle forward regarding design. The phone continues to stick to the mold pioneered by the rest of the T series of devices, and you'll find a mix of polycarbonate and glass all around. The camera bump is definitely not subtle, but we found it easy enough to rest our finger on it. The front of the phone employs a 6.58-inch display with a full HD panel. Unlike some options on the market, the display is one of the LCD variety. But overall saturation and contrast levels are pretty good. The screen will suffice for casual media watching, but it isn't quite bright enough under direct sunlight. You do, however, get 90 Hz support. Vivo's focus with the T1x is on long-lasting performance, which shows in the choice of processor and cooling features. The Snapdragon 680 chipset helps the phone run at a steady clip, which is helped in no small part by the well-optimized operating system. What also helps is the 4-layer cooling system that keeps the phone running cool even when playing high-end games. While the chipset here isn't going to push top-end games to the max, you still will be able to turn down the graphics options and play popular titles comfortably. The Vivo T1x is also playing it safe with the cameras on the phone. You'll find a 50 megapixel primary paired with a 2 megapixel secondary camera. The main camera on T1x goes big on saturation levels, and shots from the sensor look ready to go on social media. HDR performance isn't quite the best, but the phone manages to cut above the competition. There's ample detail to be found as well. Low light performance suffers a bit and noise levels creep up quite often. The secondary cameras, however, are nothing worth talking about. The Vivo T1x also has an 8 megapixel front camera that isn't the highest in terms of resolution, but makes up for it with sufficient detail, exposure and highlights. The phone packs in a 5000 mAh battery along with 18-watt fast charging support. It lasted us a whole day even when using extensively. Price starting 11,999 rupees for the base variant, the Vivo T1x is a competitive phone that doesn't bring enough to the table to really stand out. If you prefer Vivo phones, there's a lot to like here, but everyone else might want to stick to something else.
And now the much-awaited Qualcomm segment, where we're going to meet a very interesting gentleman, Prashanth Swaminathan. Now, he's a smartphone photographer. Yes, there is this category right now. And he believes smartphones have already replaced big cameras. They're easier to carry, capture moments in an instant. And he's won the Special Mention National Award by the Government of India for doing what I just described. Now, he says as long as you have the aesthetics and the sense, you can be a photographer with whatever device you want, and especially if it's a smartphone. The first camera phone was introduced way back in the 2000s. Can you imagine? 22 years back. And at that time, no one had imagined that technology would evolve to the point that we would be doing almost near professional photography with our smartphones. But sometimes we all feel that we are missing out on capturing a moment because we don't have a proper camera with us, right? But with the launch of smartphones, you always have a camera with you. Smartphones are excellent devices because they give you the freedom to experiment and explore your own creativity, whether you're an amateur photographer, a hobbyist, or a pro. And smartphone photography, very popular right now. I mean, more people use their phones for photography than almost anything else. However, there is still a stigma around the photos taken through a smartphone that they're not of that great quality, that they don't match the level of high-end cameras, mirrorless cameras, DSLR. But with the help of computational photography and other technological advancements, smartphone cameras are now producing images that can be compared to those taken on very high-end cameras also. Yet, photographs taken with professional equipment play a huge role in how you work and how you're perceived as a photographer. But there are some people who are slowly breaking this mindset. Today we meet one such person, Prashanth Swaminathan, a photographer who uses his smartphone. He's also won multiple awards for his photography from a smartphone.
Stunning pictures, all captured by smartphones over the years. It was in 2012, as a college student, Prashanth took to photography using smartphones. Mobiles then, he says, had cameras with just basic features. But the convenience of these devices and the gradual improvement in capabilities of smartphones and their cameras helped him to hone his skills and pursue his hobby with passion for a decade.
Started exploring different genres of photography. Parallelly, I started using different devices to pursue photography, like DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. But time smartphones have become really smart, too smart that the bridge between the DSLRs and the smartphone cameras are the gap is closing by. So if you take any photographer's feed or gallery, or my gallery too, it is very difficult for someone to identify the difference between a picture shot using a professional DSLR or using a mobile camera. So smartphones have become that great. The technical capabilities are really brilliant these days.
Prashanth says the sprawling green Madras Christian College where he studied drew him to photography. But the convenience of smartphones has got him stuck to this well for over a decade. As we accompany him for a photo walk along Chennai's marina, the convenience quotient of smartphone cameras he loves is evident. In a jiffy, he clicks all his way to capture the monuments, landmarks, and the landscape. He believes it's just a matter of time smartphones will be recognized as professional photographic equipment. Prashanth now uses OnePlus Nord. The capability, he says, is unimaginably advanced from where he began to dabble with smartphones to shoot pictures 10 years ago. His photography is turning many heads literally. He won the Special Mention National Award by Government of India for his documentation of the annual Qualcomm Festival by transgenders. He was also chosen for the National Geographic Portrait Prize by the Indian Photo Festival. It's the incredible computational photography he loves most.
So dynamic range is one important part in photography. Be it any device, mobile phone or DSLRs, dynamic range is very important. It doesn't matter if you shoot in the twilight or if you shoot in full blown up sun. The dynamic range includes the contrast of the colors, the contrast of the whole composition and the whole imagery in general. So the default OnePlus lenses, the shutter speed value or the overall aperture value, it's really good for anyone to just go in the streets and shoot one nice moment. It is one go-to camera. It has artificial intelligence capabilities. No smartphone has just one single lens, it has multiple lenses. What it does is it is computational photography. So the phone decides for us before we even see the image. It all happens in microseconds. So it does computational photography, helps us get the refined image, and we work with that image. We edit it or we take it to the next level.
It was this professional photographer Ashok Saravanan who taught him photography. However, Prashanth still loves to reach out to his smartphone to capture moments. Is there a stigma attached to smartphone photography against professional DSLR cameras? Not really. The lines are getting blurred, argues Prashanth.
When pictures are taken with high-end cameras and DSLRs, they can be blown up and they can be printed on coffee table books or blown up on billboards. With smartphones, it is not really possible right now. But in the coming years, not like 10 or 20 years, in 3 or 4 years, it is possible. The gap is getting really short, and one day smartphone photographers will be considered professional. There will be no difference. You are a photographer, you have the sense and you have the aesthetics, you have shot it, that's it.
It's a smartphone generation that's making its life around handheld devices, from education to healthcare. And can photography be left out? While the DSLR versus smartphone cameras debate will continue, certainly smartphones are giving a tough fight. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
All right, time to actually meet this magical genius. So tell me, how did you start photography with your phone? What made you decide to use a phone rather than carry on like most people do with high-end cameras?
There are many reasons that pushed me into smartphone photography. So when I started photography, the only device that was accessible to me was one smartphone camera. And with photography, the best moments in photography happen during those moments where we least expect it, and they happen in places where we least expect it. It is not really possible to take a DSLR and travel wherever we go, but with a smartphone we can easily do it. So that's one primary reason.
And how do you think your smartphone is ahead of the curve? How's that helped you to reach where you are?
It's ahead of the curve because it's basically a computer that has a camera. The computational power of a smartphone is 1,000 times more than a professional camera. A professional camera is designed only to take pictures, but this is one supercomputer that also takes pictures. So the perspective is totally different. The dynamic range is really good, and the artificial intelligence has come into play. So with all these factors, the smartphone photography has really democratized photography as an art form for all of us.
Great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Time now to go and talk to Navneet Nakra of OnePlus, a person who really gets the entire smartphone market. Navneet, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Rajiv. It's wonderful to be back here.
Now, Navneet, OnePlus is known for providing excellent camera quality. Can you tell us what are the main highlighting features in a OnePlus phone?
As a brand, we understand that every user is different. OnePlus smartphones across categories are equipped with a versatile camera setup. Our hardware and software optimizations ensure that Prashanth in 2012 and the Prashanth in 2022 both are empowered with the ability to grow as photographers across various avenues, be it photography or videography. From a hardware perspective, our smartphones come equipped with customized exclusive lenses that help users capture more light and sharper details with every shot, and innovations such as the portrait mode, nightscape mode, and 4K 120 frames per second recording encourage our users to get more out of the camera experience than to just point and shoot, which users such as Prashanth have made the most of.
Navneet, that's fascinating. But tell me, when OnePlus and Qualcomm were associating for this particular product, could you both have thought of the possibility of someone like Prashanth using your products and taking out absolute magic?
That's a great question. Prashanth is a wonderful representative of the OnePlus community. Our long-standing collaboration with Qualcomm has always centered around combining expertise and technologies to provide great experiences which help our users explore and hone their talents. For a user like Prashanth, who loves to chronicle the streets of India, it brings me a lot of joy to hear that our smartphones provide the dynamic range required to capture the nuances of everyday life in the country as colorful as ours.
Thank you, Navneet. Thank you so much. As always, a complete pleasure talking to you. Snapdragon is calling all the Cell Guru fans to join their global community called Snapdragon Insiders. This gives you access to the latest scoop on Snapdragon tech, a chance to connect with the experts behind the scenes, premium experiences, exclusive contests, and so much more. Look, I've been telling you this for a while now. I'm a Snapdragon Insider, and you can become one too by simply following Snapdragon on Twitter or on Instagram there. Their handles are given right here. Also, give yourself a chance to win a smartphone by participating in the NDTV Snapdragon contest at ndtv.com/unleash your dreams. Let's take a quick break right now on the show. When we come back, lots more happening. Let's move on now to the Oppo Enco X2. TWS earbuds I was really waiting for because Oppo gets their audio really right. Flagship wireless earbuds supports LHDC audio codec, has noise cancellation, wireless charging, up to 5 hours of battery, of course with the case even more, priced at 10,999. So are they the best around 10,000 rupees? We'll find out.
Wireless earbuds are all the rage right now. And with companies launching budget TWS with good quality audio performance, there are a plethora of options for the consumer to choose from. Oppo has recently launched the Oppo Enco X2, which comes as the successor to the Enco X, which was launched last year. Previous model, the X2 earbuds come with a host of new upgrades such as better battery performance and tweaks to the audio quality. In our Cell Guru review, we find out if these are the best TWS in the under 15K segment. The X2 looks similar to the Apple AirPods Pro. It has a pebble-shaped design and is made entirely of plastic. But that does not mean that it looks cheap. The glossy finish gives it a very premium look and feel. The battery indicator is at the bottom of the case next to the USB-C port. The case and the earbuds weigh a mere 56.4 grams and are light too. The buds are IP54 water and dust resistant and will not get damaged while running or exercising. With the X2, Oppo has tried to pack as many features as it could, and we're not saying that it is a bad thing. The buds are high-res audio certified and get about 900 kbps audio transmission because of the LHDC codec support. Oppo has tied up with the Nordic company Dino Audio to develop the Super DB coaxial dual driver system to bring to you the best sound quality. Oppo has put in the effort with the sound quality, and that is clearly visible. The sound comes with well-balanced mids and treble, and the bass is not overpowering. The vocals are crystal clear and make for an enjoyable listening experience. If you are someone who loves to listen to audiobooks and podcasts, you will not be disappointed. Coming to the ANC feature, these are pretty decent and blocks ambient sound when the max mode is enabled. It comes in mild, moderate, max and smart mode. We weren't too impressed with the first two modes, but the max mode left us happy. Having said that, the ANC is not the best and there are other TWS that offer better experiences. You can download the Hey Melody app from either the Play Store or the App Store and customize your sound profile as per your choice. You can toggle the intensity of the ANC mode, customize the EQ sound profile and do a lot more within the app as per your preference. The earbuds do not come with the tap feature, instead it comes with gesture control. You need to squeeze the stems once, twice or long squeeze it to control the various settings. Oppo claims that the Enco X2 can last up to 5.5 hours with ANC enabled. The buds support 10 watts charging. It takes about an hour to charge the buds, while it takes about 100 minutes for the case to be fully charged. The Enco X2 is priced at Rs. 10,999. Oppo has packed the buds with as many features as it could, and it delivers on most fronts. A good battery backup, a power-packed sound profile, and a premium build quality. All these make the Enco X2 a worthy contender in this segment. If you're looking for a no-fuss TWS, these are the ones to be considered.
That then was the Cell Guru show for this week. As always, the show today I said should have been called Jam-Packed. Next week, we'll call the show even more jam-packed. I'll see you next week right here on the Cell Guru show.